Hi, Spencer here at Classic Violins in our main showroom to talk to you today a little bit about the process of choosing an instrument and a bow. Purchasing your own instrument and bow is a really exciting experience. You're going to be picking out something that is going to be unique and special and personal to you as you develop your musical journey. But it can also be a little bit daunting and sometimes scary to consider that what you're going to purchase you're probably going to be using for a very long time. And you want to make sure that whatever you do choose is really going to be suiting you in the long run. With so many instruments to choose from, how do we get down to the one that might be our one instrument? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do that, and a few simple things to keep in mind when auditioning instruments can make the process a lot more fun and a lot easier. To start with, it's good to start with a control group of instruments. If you make an appointment here at Classic Violins to try instruments, we will assemble for you a handful of different instruments in your price range or based on your different tastes that you communicate to us, and we'll also pick out a number of different bows for you to try. When looking at all of your different instruments, it's important to remember that it's impossible to judge how an instrument is going to sound and how it will play just by its outward appearance. You can see with these instruments on the table, they have different colors of fittings, the varnish is slightly different colors, some are older, some are newer, some look older, some look more new, but that really doesn't have a bearing on how they'll ultimately sound. If the appearance of your instrument, the physical color, fittings, etc. are a big consideration to you, just understand that you might wind up inadvertently removing some instruments from your choice that could be really good sounding and good performing. But anyway, back to the point of the instruments. When we select a number of instruments, the first thing to do is generally just to play them all. Hear how they sound, see if you have any initial reactions to the instruments. We will provide you with a sheet that you can make some different notes on about, recording the sounds or different characteristics of the instruments to help you keep things straight. If you're auditioning bows as well, we will usually suggest you start with only one bow. That way you can just kind of have a constant and try that constant among your different instruments. When you're playing the different instruments, it's good to play things that will get the entire range of the instrument out. For violin trials, for example, we often recommend playing even just a simple 2 or 3 octave G major scale, something that allows you to hit every single string to hear how the instrument sounds as a whole, and also to understand the kind of range of the instrument. Some instruments have different character on the high end versus the low end, and this is a good way to discern that. We also recommend that you play a piece of music that you understand very well, maybe something that you've played for years and know very well without thinking about it, and also maybe something that you're working on currently, something that's challenging, to see how a different instrument will respond to that. Once you start to narrow down your instrument selection, and you maybe have 1 or 2 favorites, then it's a good time to start going to the different bows. Trying your different bows across the different instruments that you actually like the most. For bows, it's also good to play things that use the entire span of the bow from frog to tip so you can feel how the bow feels across its entire length. Try different bow strokes, off the string techniques, long connected bowings, different articulations that really give you a sense of how that bow will sound. Now, of course, trying instruments here in this environment will be different than how they will feel if you were playing them, say, at home or in your studio or with your teacher, someplace that you are more used to playing. For this option, we recommend that before purchasing an instrument, you take the instrument or instruments and bows out on trial. Play them in a place that you're comfortable performing, perhaps without all the stress of having to make a decision in a strange place or a strange showroom, and really think about the instruments you're interested in. Most places, ourselves included, will give you at least a week to do this. This is also a great time to be able to run your instrument by your teacher or other musicians that you respect their opinions and who maybe are familiar with your sound production and how you play. Ultimately, during your trial as well, if it would be helpful, we have a number of musicians on staff who are always happy to demonstrate instruments for you as well, or to offer their opinion of your playing. Ultimately, instrument selection and bow selection should be a lot of fun, and with a few simple things in mind, and taking a deep breath before we begin, it can be a lot of fun and a great way to find something that will be attached to you and your musical style for a long time to come, and ultimately help take your music to the next level. If you are interested in trying instruments here at Classic Violins, we encourage you to give us a call or an email, and we'll be happy to set up an appointment for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.